it's because of your part assembly. I'm not going to call it a kit. I'm able to follow this dream to build this car. Yeah. So I was wondering if you could talk me through a little bit about the parts. For the first part is labeled part number 1, and it looks like it goes inside of the front hood. Is that correct? What do you call that part?
I call these are the trunk reinforcements. It's to stiffen the front quarter panels against flexing when you are closing the roof mechanism. So when closing the roof mechanism, the windshield frame is bent to the back of the car. And so I have some reports from 1949 of the Volkswagen team and the Hebmüller team doing the test rides in the first convertibles. And first, they did not have these reinforcements. You have these two reinforcements to stiffen out and to avoid that the windshield frame will bend back if there's the big tension when you close the roof.
I have a report from 1949. The Volkswagen engineers, they write, oh, in some of these first cars, there were 3 test cars. The windshield always broke because it was flexing. Right. So then they did this stiffeners to fix this problem. And that's the same solution they took over for the common 4-seater convertible then.
I see.
And the windshield frame actually was not built specially for the 2-seater. It was used for the police cabriolet first. So it has its origin in the Hebmüller Type 18 police cabriolet. So not in the Type 14, but a little bit before in the Type 18.
And then for the second part, which is actually the window frame, it looks like there's another frame laying on the floor behind it. Is that to understand that these 2 pieces come together and this is the reinforcement inside the framing? Is that correct?
Yeah, that's it.
Actually, the windshield frame is well together from 3 pieces. It's the air cowl and the window, the front outer frame, front outer upper frame. This one, yes. And the back part is the one with the tubing. The tubing is made from 3 band steel tubes, and these steel tubes also, they came inside this window frame to make it stiff against the load when you are closing the roof, because this is really tough. You have to tighten it.
Yeah, clip it and tight it down. Yeah.
And it's really much force, and a long lever. The window, the A-pillar is a long lever, let's say. And so you need it very stiff. And so they made this around 20 millimeters and 2 millimeters thickness steel tube inside. And this one is then welded to the trunk reinforcements. So this makes the A-pillars very stiff. So,
and when I receive this part, it will come already together, or do I have to assemble it?
You will have to assemble it. So actually, the version we see here in the pic, that were the first sets of parts, it turned out that it's easier to install if you have it in 3 pieces. You have a hemming flange on the back part of the frame, and you will hem this around the front part once the windshield assembly is positioned on the car. So it's like they did it in 1949. I think it's technically it's just like they did it at the Hebmüller factory.
Wow, the piece here, just to jump a little bit out of order, that you have labeled number 7. I believe these are the hinges that fold.
Top mechanism.
I think that Peter Schepens has one for me, so I was very lucky. It seems to me that a lot of these Hebmüller stories involve luck and timing.
Peter Schepens is doing them by hand, so he has some paper card specimen of the original top mechanism. He does it very, very well. and he cuts them out by hand with the scissors and welds them together. So like it's really very original, like they did in the factory.
Part number 3. What are we looking at here?
So that's a set of reinforcements which are inside the passenger compartment. I call the big one there's the rear diaphragm. It's like a stiffener in between the B pillars and the parts with the 5 folds in.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
These are the brackets that carry the top mechanism, which are welded at the upper edge of the B pillars.
Okay.
Then you have the stiffeners left and right side in the rear quarter panels.
Okay.
That's where the back seat rests on. So back seat rests, and you can fold the backrest flush to the seat cushion.
And that brings up a good question. I asked him, and I'm sure you know the answer as well. When
you see, I like old things, so that's here.
Let me see. Oh, terrific.
But for adults, it's not possible to sit there. Yeah. So it's just for kids back there.
You
So
put your jacket back there or your small package on the back seat, and then you drive.
Also.
But more importantly, number 4 on our list of going down this piece.
Yeah, that's the water drainer. So it's underneath the vents. So if it rains, the rain will be collected there. And there are 2 tubes going down. It's like on the edges of the house, you know. They go through the passenger compartment and then through the rear trunk, and the water will drop out underneath the car. If you did the welding right, so if not, it will drop in.
And then I just now noticed number 5, which is the vent in the back, also wraps around the side of the car. It looks like it all the way is almost like the rear passenger where your arm would be if you were sitting in the back seat. That's great. I didn't know it was that big. It's quite a large piece.
Yeah, that was one, is a really huge die, but I wanted to do it this way. We call this the rear cowl. In the original cars at Hebmüller, these 2 legs to the front, they were cut. So they pressed only the small part about there. That's it.
I see.
Why did I do it? Because I wanted to be sure that everybody who builds a Hebmüller finds the right position for this cowl. So the edge, the cutting edge, where it lies on the grass, that's a laser cut, and it's exactly, we call it in car design, we call it the character line. So the pressed in line of the car, and this ends just in the radius of this character line. And what you are doing now, you cut off the roof. Then you take the cowl, you put it on the car from the outside, make it flush to the character line. And then you drill tiny holes, let's say 2 millimeter holes every 50 millimeters. And you screw it in with little screws. You look that it's all flush and all good. Then you take the screws out again, take the cowl off. Then you mount it with the same screws, but from the inside of the rear panels.
Okay.
Mount it again, fix it that everything is flush. Then you take a needle and make a scratch.
You score it.
Should be around 10 millimeters from the character line.
Yep.
You screw off again the cowl panel. You take the metal scissors and very exactly cut along the scratch. And then you can just weld it together and you're all set. So no danger of doing it wrong or something. So that was what I thought when I did the design like this. It's a welding seam like in the original car. Even in my first replica, I didn't cut and re-weld it because I'm an engineer. So I thought this is technically a very, very good solution. And
sure. And then I think the last piece is the most iconic piece of the Hebmüller, right? It's this wonderful big extended nose on the deck lid. This is huge. So this is pressed as one piece, or this is 2 put together?
The outer skin is one piece, but it's pressed without the hole of for the license number light and brake light. Then it's pressed, and at Hebmüller they cut out this ball-shaped nose tip, turn it around and welded it in to form the inside of the nose. And then you have some two more little parts to close the area under the nose tip. So it's pressed in one part and then cut out the nose tip and turn around and weld in again and flange down to flanges. The only thing that's not included is the reinforcement for the lock, because you can buy this. There's like $50 or something. If you want, I can get you one, but you get it in the US also. So that's really, so I don't put it in. When I sold the first lid, I had this all well together, and then the cars differ some millimeters. And so many of the customers had to drill it out again. And so we said we don't weld it in, you know. The upper edge of the part 6 is, yeah. So this is 10 millimeters, around 10 millimeters longer than the final cut. So you have to mount it. So when your rear cowl is on the car and your hinges are fit and everything, you will mount the lid on the car and close it. You glue a piece of tape on the cowl. You mark with a pencil where the end of the lid is. Then you measure the distances, and you bring this to the lid. You measure how far the edge of part 6 is overlapping the cowl. And then you draw the line for the perfect gap on part 6. And then again, like they did in 49, you take the metal scissors and...
Yeah, so slight trimming to make it all absolutely flush. Fantastic. I said this was the last part, but I lied. Only 2 more, I promise. I know.
No problem.
It's this guy.
Ah, yeah.
So do you also make this as well?
No, this is a guy in Spain who does this part. Actually, I did not yet use it, but it looks good. It looks like good quality.
The dash that currently comes with the 56 has a look to it, but this to me, when you're standing behind the car and the top is down, having a split, that reads Hebmüller to me. So I think if I'm going to go through this whole process, I need the correct dashboard, right? Yeah. So the last thing that I think you do amazingly well is your fenders. And so the current fenders I have on the 56 are in pretty good shape. The quality, they're not damaged. There's no huge dents. You know, I spoke a little bit with obviously Peter and maybe even a little bit with Klaus, and they remarked about how beautiful they call them wings.
The British guys, they say wings. So I learned fenders at school, as the English word, but the people in UK, they call it wings, rear wings. So.
And I understand that on the back of the fender, there's a bit of a dimple where the taillight sets, right? What I'm trying to decide is, my wife's like, of course, get Dirk's fender. What are you talking about? And so I already have approval from the boss, but I'm just trying to think, like, is this a place where maybe you recommend, look, if your fenders are okay, you won't be able to tell the difference.
Yeah. So the left and the right fender, they are not absolutely symmetric, because, you know, in this time, you did not have a data set. In today's cars, only the left side of the car is designed, and then the other half is mirrored. That's what I call these are dead cars. So if you look at a man's face, it's not symmetric. And if you take a man's face and you just use one half and you mirror it, you will know, okay, this is my friend Mike or whatever. You will think he looks odd, huh? Even if you look at the Hebmüller Decklid from behind, if you look very closely, you will see that the character lines there, the embossings, they are different for more than 6 millimeters. 6 millimeters.
That's a lot.
And yeah, you don't see it if you look at the car. You think, oh, it's a beautiful car. But you really see it if you do the CAD and you mirror it. You really use it. It's so clean. It really looks odd. That's something's missing. Yeah, where does this come from? So it's in this time you had to do a model of the car using wood. So it was a carpenter doing the whole car. So they had no chance to do one half and mirror it. So they had to sweat and to do it both sides.
Wow.
And as symmetric as this model is, as symmetric are the cars, because the cars, the dies, the press dies for the cars in these days, they were not built from scratches or something. They were built from these design models from wood and plaster. Is that the word? So,
Yeah.
and then they put these parts on a hydraulic copy milling machine, and they copied new models for all of the die operations. These wooden cars, these design models, were the data sets, let's say data sets, for the design of the cars. And all the car manufacturers, they had huge storages with all these wooden and plaster models for the shapes of their cars. And that's what I wanted to, or what I always wanted. If I'm doing a new part, I try to save this character of the car, which is really much more effort to do, because you have double the time for re-engineering and everything. If you look at my Fenders, you will see, if you look at the car from behind, you will see that on the right side, the outer shape of the car from your side on the right side, other is a small edge like this, and on the left side it's rather a curve. Yeah, they are like the originals. It's for me a copy that takes away these kind of distortions or this kind of differences. It's not a good copy. What I try to avoid is all the surface distortions and wrinkles and so, because these wooden models, they were also made by hand, so it's not like today. I love this, that the reflecting lights are really, really smooth. And so I don't want the little distortions, but the geometry is let's say plus minus 0.4 millimeters something to the original.
I'm completely sold on that idea now for the Fenders. My wife was already, but I thought tomorrow I'm speaking with a wonderful gentleman. His name is Pascal. He's going to be selling me his glass. He has a complete set of glass.
That's Pascal Knockert.
Yes, that's who it is.
Okay.
I know you know him. I know you do. Do you have to now the parts that I'm going to buy, are they already made, or do you have to go make another round, or how does that work?
No. The drawn parts, they are already made. Then I have a friend of mine, Hubert Drescher, who was running a classic car restoration shop. Mm-hmm. And he does the assemblies then one by one. So your parts should be already ready. Yeah, I think they are all done.
Awesome. All right, fantastic. That's all the questions I have. I'm sure there'll be more. Thank you for making this possible, Dirk. I really appreciate
to talk to you. Really sympathetic, a really nice guy. So yeah,
I hope
how the hobby should be.
I think we're on our way. I think this is going to be wonderful.
Thank you. Take care and. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks, Dirk. Have a great evening.